based on drugs.
For me.
No, I like her aesthetic. The color balancing
That thing
is really
sells
nice.
drugs.
I don't.
And pictures. Like this guy's on the same street.
She could use some more fucking clothes on her. Jesus.
Yeah, no shit, right? SBO, if you're straight edge, why do you support people using drugs? Doesn't it go against your whole fucking way of life?
Straight edge? What do you mean by straight edge?
How can someone
You
do
don't
straight edge and blind?
drink or use drugs.
Chicken's game crash.
Oh, me personally, I don't. Oh, well, that's really easy. I don't like doing things, but I support other people's right to do them.
So do you support me in hating niggers?
I guess, you know, you, legally speaking, have the right to think abhorrent things, but...
But how can you allow, like... But that's retarded. How can you talk about a self-defeating fucking ideology? Like, you're gonna let someone do that? Like, what's... Come on, dude. Have a spine.
Yeah, I think when people do drugs, it's bad. And I think that when people are racist, it's bad.
But you let them do it. You just turn your back and say, oh well. How can you live like that?
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Anything would be more than nothing.
SPO, do you support when you say you
You could
support
go out
people
on street
using
corners
drugs,
like this and tell them not to
when
do
you
it.
say
You
SPO, when you s-
Does that
SPO,
work?
SPO,
I mean,
when you say you
if you do
support
it enough,
people doing
you
drugs, do you
you
mean
can
like
at least try.
fucking cocaine?
There we go.
Well, I've already
He
said
supports
I support,
anything, apparently.
No, I support Portugal's policy on drugs, which
Yeah,
is
see,
that
like,
you
that's the thing.
criminalize drugs and you stop treating
If-
drug users
I mean,
as
yeah,
If providing support,
people who need
dude,
healthcare.
I mean, he
Like,
supported it
providing
insofar
support
as the
is
fucking
Get that. Let's do this.
John, like he supports it insofar as the like ultimate goal is to reduce drug usage.
in that particular scenario, sure. But
if you
this
send
thing here is
It's like,
I
yeah,
agree. I
you
think
can
that
do
prison
drugs,
shouldn't
but,
be a
like,
thing. I think the execution should be the thing. But
I don't know
like,
if
Watch this fat girl.
does
Sniper.
drugs, but
Wait here. I'll take care of it.
what does
Dude.
that
Hold on,
matter?
Robin. I've got this.
it
How'd you get so good with computers?
I mean, it's not about that. It's about you.
SPO,
I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Tim.
I'm starting an activity. Let's all play this game.
Oh, Christ. No, I need to
I'm
go
not
eat.
playing shit, dude.
I'm not
Yeah.
setting up the fucking game.
Fucking, you all suck.
Okay.
Would play it.
I
It was
see
called
Only on the
Wait
weekend.
here. I'll take care of this.
Easy, cowboy.
I
Let's work
hate
together.
you.
Naked
I'll
mode.
distract the sniper. Then we'll take down the hinge.
I wish K-Wing was a deafened.
Dude, fucking Adam.
SBO. You say that the thing in Porch Monkeys or whatever, Portugal, like giving people support, right? Like providing support, and that helps them be better.
Yeah.
Going out on a street corner and telling people that what they're doing is wrong and that you can help them is the same thing, and yet you say, oh, well, does that help? You yourself claim that supporting people helps.
Okay.
Offering support.
There's a difference between going out in the street to like a drug addict and being like, did you know drugs are bad? There's a difference between that and like having a system whereby those people, when they're found by, you know, law enforcement or whatever, instead of getting thrown in a jail cell, they get sent to a place where they get to meet a doctor and a lawyer and a social worker, and they're given
So you're
access to
you're
clean
unwilling to personally help them. You just want them to be captured by someone else, and then you'll consider helping them.
I think that we should set up systems to help people. Because even
mean,
if I spend
and
all of
how
my
do we
nights
stop
going,
that?
even if I
By
spend
saying
all
that
night going out on the
being on
street
corners won't help?
trying to personally help like drug addicts. First of all, I'm probably going to get shanked. It's, you know, not the best idea. But
Some sacrifices have to be made.
this is really simple, okay? Drug
for it.
usage is a health problem. People who are drug addicts need
Kids getting
health
dicked.
care. They need help. If you just treat them as criminals and you lock them up, all you're doing is draining the economy because it costs money to keep them in those prisons. Instead, what you do is you give them access to clean ways to use drugs, and you put that right next to the fucking rehab center, and eventually they will get their life in order, but they need access to the resources to do that.
Fuck his life, let's go.
Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Fuck life, yeah.
Interesting. For every one guy that gets cured by this system, aren't there like several kids who pick it up?
Oh, dear. Oh,
Okay, a couple things to that. First of all, be honest, in every country, kids pick up drugs. Like, let's be real. This happens.
Well, that's what
anyway.
I'm saying. I'm not saying that this system causes it. I'm saying it has like negligible effects. One step forward, two steps back.
The war on drugs hasn't
The Joker's
helped.
got the Ferris wheel.
Like, the
things.
states have done
I
the
don't know
war
what
on
he's up
drugs
to,
for
but I
fucking
better
decades,
secure
and
the
it just
area
doesn't
before I free the
work.
hostages.
All we have is shit tons of people. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we've got
wasn't
shit
you
tons
said yourself the war on drugs was like a ploy to...
Yes, exactly.
So then of course it didn't work. What are you talking about?
It's just to send like black people to prison for doing weed. So like this isn't a good system
Rightly so.
for dealing with drug usage. So what do we do?
I mean, what do we do?
Damn it.
I think that SBO
Make
is
Russia start launching the
is a
nukes.
state execution
Yeah, fucking fine.
immoral to you?
Personally.
You don't like murder, but what about a state execution?
I'm uncomfortable with the government having the ability to kill people. But I guess it kind of has that ability in a whole lot of ways. I don't think it's good. Mostly because even if there are like specific people where I can look at them and be like, yeah, if this guy died, I wouldn't exactly be super sad about that.
I hope I'm not on that list.
It's cheaper to
don't
keep
think-
them in prison for the rest
Yeah.
of their lives, I
I've
think.
got a situation here.
It's cheaper to keep them in
No,
prison for the
don't.
rest of their lives.
I can
Also,
take care of this.
I think about like 4% of convictions are just incorrect convictions. And if you've put someone in jail for 10 years and then it finds out, you know, it turns out that they're innocent, you can let them out of jail and it's still fucked up if they lost 10 years of their life, but you can like go a ways to fix that. If you killed them, you can't unkill them. So,
But the thing about
jail
that
time
is
is
that...
cheaper and more reversible. So it's
Oh boy.
How often
Why is
do
it
you think they
cheaper?
make mistakes when they put people to death?
4% apparently. Oh, to death? Yeah. 4%, I guess.
Like, if they put someone to die, they've got to be pretty fucking sure.
Isn't that what a jury is for, right? Jury of your peers?
I don't know how it works in, like, cases where
okay. More than 4% of death row inmates may be innocent.
Just because they're black?
Need to get the hostages down.
He was a good boy. He didn't do nothing. He was on his way to college. He just
Not
he
bad.
made this one mistake.
New analysis more than 3 decades of data on death sentences and death row exonerations. Right, okay.
fucking link it. I want to read it myself.
But as time goes forward, the process will get more refined and there'll be less mistakes.
You'd think
Like
so.
data from the past is like irrelevant, essentially. Not literally irrelevant, but you know what I mean. Like it becomes less and less relevant. Like yeah, in 1856, I'm sure there were a few mistakes made.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even if there's one person who's innocent and is put to death, like, that's a tragedy, and we
Well, he
should
can
avoid
suck my dick. I mean, you gotta die sometime.
Well, the way we can avoid that is by just, like, not killing people and just locking them up instead. That's, like, way easier.
Dude, tell
It
me how
works better.
jail is cheaper. I don't understand this.
Okay, the amount
Necessarily
that it
the
costs-
jail is cheap. It's that like the other one is costs a lot because I think there's like a lot of fucking not
Paperwork.
necessarily paperwork, but like you gotta something to that effect.
What about using them as a workforce?
That's slavery.
Only if they're
Well, I
innocent.
mean, if you
Okay.
Which I guess
Hate
is
them.
4% of them.
Between 2017 and 2020, Tennessee was paying $95,000 per execution.
Or what? The chemicals to kill them? I don't understand.
Yes. That, the paperwork, you know, paying the people to actually fucking do it.
Well, and how much is it to keep someone in jail for that time? Or like for, you know, however long, whatever would be a life sentence, I guess. Like, you're telling me that killing them is more expensive than keeping them in jail for life? For 80 years? Fuck off. There's no way that's the case. I guess more like 70 years.
we don't have we don't have execution, so we can only
Okay.
put someone in jail, and that's why we waste money, and then we can maybe have some different thing to do with them.
Oh, I see. And you pay them?
I feel like only killing the inmates
Goes to jail.
isn't like you're not fucking
Jails go to.
looking at the big picture. I think we have to kill everyone.
So, in the States, the national average wait time between conviction and execution is just under 9 years. And while all of this waiting is going on, the process has not ground to a halt. Quite the opposite, in fact. The appeals process consumes hours of labour, not only by court staff, but also by the often court-appointed, taxpayer-funded and constitutionally guaranteed public defenders. As a result, some estimate that it costs US taxpayers between $50 and $90 million more per year, depending on the jurisdiction, to prosecute death penalty cases and life sentences.
So killing them is free, but it's just that you have to wait 9 years, and in those 9 years, you gotta pay all these fucking Jewish lawyers. Interesting.
I personally think for them just sitting in jail and doing nothing, it is dumb.
Dude, they're not doing nothing. They're building up a hatred for society. And then they'll be better when they come out.
Well, I mean, we're talking about life sentences here, John.
No, I know. But, well, I mean, according to you, some of them are innocent and get let out. So,
Yeah.
suck my nuts.
We pay tax, part of the taxes goes to supporting them.
Shit.
If you get wrongly in prison for like 10 years,
That's input
I
there,
feel
right?
like the last thing you'd want is to go back there.
So I just read your fucking
Nah.
article that you sent.
Yeah.
It says 4% are not worthy of life sentences, or are worthy of life sentences, not the execution, not that they're
Right.
innocent.
Well, wait, shit, hang on.
Oh, really? Oh, SBO.
that?
You done fucked up, bro.
If I fucked up, I fucked up. Let me read this.
Rick.
Read it your fucking self, it's right here.
Fucking
Let's see who
your
can read.
autism,
Yeah, who's gonna read
your,
it
your
first?
free trial of
Get your
previous
glasses
autism
ready.
has expired. You're not just a normal autist, SBO.
Dude, I'm gonna need to. You're gonna need to turn in your license.
I need to.
Hang on, it doesn't say that. It's saying that it's saying that the 4% of people who were falsely convicted, this isn't 4% of death row inmates. This is 4% of people who were sentenced for life or executed. I think is what that's saying.
We use survival analysis to model this effect and estimate that if all death sentence defendants remained under sentence of death indefinitely, at least 4.1% would be exonerated.
Yeah, there you go.
Exonerated.
Yes.
Do you not know what that
Not
means?
found innocent.
Dude,
Exonerated means to have the charges against you cleared.
yeah, what are you talking about, Retro?
Not the charges, the fucking punishment.
Do you know what
What?
exonerated means?
Google exonerated, dude.
Dude, it's
You
funny.
okay?
Read the whole thing.
I mean, you just did read the whole thing. To us,
An
didn't you?
official body absolves someone from blame for a fault or wrongdoing.
Yeah, dude, exonerate means let go.
Yeah, so what this is saying is that if people on death row weren't killed, but instead just stayed on death row for infinity, eventually 4% of them would have the charges against them cleared. They would be found to be innocent. We conclude that this
What's
is
that
a
based on,
conservative
though?
estimate of the proportion of full conviction among death sentences in the United States, meaning it's probably higher.
But like, what's the found innocent based on what though? Like, what would it new evidence emerging or what's?
Well, this
They
was
just
a study-
magically found
This was a
innocent?
study that was done, it's an analysis of more than 3 decades of data on death sentences and death row exonerations across the United States.
So it doesn't specify. Interesting.
Well, if
Because
you
I
go
feel
to
like,
the study, you can go and read through the study if you want to.
oh, dude, I want to hear it in your voice.
Well, there's the study, anyway.
Oh, dude, I'll take it. But
Yeah, it's-
why are you DMing us instead of sharing with the whole class?
Goodbye. I will probably not be back.
Because I
Take
figured
it
not
easy.
everyone
See you, dude.
in this bullshit.
I miss you already. Oh, Jesus. So,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean,
there's a lot
right?
of
Like,
Coffin speak in here, and I don't entirely understand all of the graphs. But,
like a cold case, how often does a cold case Well, it's not even a cold case, a solved. Literally a case that, like, the guy's
Fine.
in jail.
What
And,
was
like,
A bad
and
joke.
then they, like, open the case up and
a lot of those.
find that he's innocent? Like, how fucking often does that happen? Like, 4%?
Yes,
Like, get the
4%,
fuck out of here.
at least 4% of the time. Yeah, because a lot of corners are cut by local police departments, believe it or not.
I mean,
A lot
Jesus
of the time they just
fucking Christ.
fucking like they grab a guy who was like roughly in the area and you're like, yeah, he was black, we'll just say he did it, and they fucking throw him away. Like this is going back to the 70s, okay? Like this.
Well, see, that's what I said about the past being irrelevant, but, like,
I mean, dude,
I
if
don't
you
know,
think
dude.
racism in policing doesn't exist anymore, like, I don't know what to tell you.
it's not that it doesn't exist, it's just that it's different now. Like, I mean, you can't deny that things have changed.
Things have got better, but there's still a long way to go.
I don't know about better, but, yeah.
Batgirl, got a bump.
Dude, better is subjective.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, the whole point of this is that people have charges dropped against them when they're suspects of crimes that warrant the death sentence. It's not that people who are sentenced to die are found innocent at 4%.
where are you getting
I
that
need to
from?
deactivate the bomb.
It's highlighted on my screen.
You both seem to have a different, like, interpretation of this. I'm not,
Okay.
Well, I just read through the whole article and its sources.
Reduced exonerations are concentrated amongst the tiny. Okay, hang on. So, a high proportion of false convictions that do come to light and produce exonerations are concentrated among the tiny minority of
that?
cases. Yes, that makes sense. Because if you're being sentenced to death, it's a big fucking deal, so there's going to be a lengthier appeals process to make sure that they've got the right guy. So, in those instances, you're more likely to be exonerated if you're on death row.
Whoops.
Because the process is going to be longer. But this doesn't actually
You don't
mean
say.
this doesn't actually mean that the people on death row are like more innocent than other than people sentenced for other crimes. It means that people care more.
It
People
means
try
that
harder.
they haven't
How'd
met
you get
the
here?
fucking
have my
criteria that says
What a
you're
corrupt
allowed to
system.
die for this.
No, this is
Not
someone
that those
who's
people
on.
are innocent. That those people have the charges dropped against them. They're not the people who committed the crimes. So it's not a number that says 4% of people who are sentenced to death and die are innocent.
Oh, sorry, you're highlighting the wrong bit. Okay. Most death sentence defendants are removed from death row and resentenced to life imprisonment, after which the likelihood of exoneration drops sharply.
Dude, what the fuck is chicken chewing on? Holy
Okay.
shit. It's lit.
Himself, dude. Yeah.
What the
His the inside of his cheek, dude. He does it all the time.
fuck? Literally
Sometimes.
You're gonna pay, Joker.
Delicious.
What I'm getting from this is that
It's whatever you fucking want to take away from this.
no, okay, so I think what this is saying is
I
that
feel like you should have had a better understanding of this before you linked it to us. Honestly, like, I'm not trying to bance you, but like,
yeah,
if
well, sorry,
Reicher's
I
saying
fucking
this
glad
shit
for not
and then like,
memorizing every single part of every study. Christ.
well, but you linked it and we're just like, here you go, here's
Yeah,
proof
here
of
you
my.
go.
Yeah, and now you're saying like, oh well, like, not my fault for not memorizing it. It's like, well, why'd you link
The
it then?
point
dude?
still stands, though. Like,
Reicher doesn't seem to think it does, and I don't care enough to read it myself. I'm leaning towards Reicher.
bad. Because, like, look at all of these fucking people who shouldn't be killed, who are going to be fucking killed.
Holy
by
shit,
bad.
I just
It
got
doesn't
one.
work.
Dude, 4% understanding. It says that 4% of people who are facing the death sentence are not actually the people who've committed those crimes. It doesn't say your point, which says that 4% of people who are killed